Hello, Christine Harper, White House Canyon. I've lived there all my life. My husband was the road manager for 30 years. His father was before him for 30 years, 30-year retiree of granite construction operator, grader operator. I have a picture today I'd like to submit, and this is the Anvil truck that went in our creek. And we're not able to get our fire clearance until Anvil fixes this part of our road. This superintendent of the job, and I asked him not to break the crown, break the seal, plug the culverts, fill in the ditches. He did all of that, and he said he was going to do it his way. This was how he was going to do his operation, and then bring our road back. Our road has not been back, and we lost a lot of years. In my lifetime, 60 years of repairs, a lot of money that our residents, 30 houses, 20 burned, and we'd like to rebuild, but we need your help, please. I'd like to be in a house again.
I want to explain that Last Chance Road has 1 mile at the front that's paved, and then the rest is all dirt. I approximate that it's around 25 miles worth of the main road and then 7 spur roads as well as driveways. And all of those road surfaces were accessed by Anvil in the debris removal process. So they've all been impacted. We have a road association since 1972. Oh, sorry. I thought that was what you wanted me to do. We have a road association since 1972, and we have elected positions. We have a road manager, and we have maintained the road for decades in very good condition. Over the years, we've put gravel on it, and that's kept the road in good shape. That gravel was all removed by Anvil when they came and resurfaced the road. I've been driving on the road for 22 years commuting, and so I've been able to see what condition it's in. And I was living at the mill site where it's at the end of Last Chance Road during the debris removal process. So I was right there with all the big trucks coming and going and was able to see the changes in the road as it happened. They use these big articulated trucks called haulers in some of the harder to access areas. And those are the areas that really got chewed up because those types of vehicles did a lot of damage to the roads. They created this, what we call moon dust. It was like a foot deep of this fine, almost like talcum powder dust that's been very hard to deal with and has created problems with the road since then with the recent rains.
They understood the forest practice rules. The forest practice rules are my career. And if you do something that's blatantly against the forest practice rules and tell me you're following the forest practice rules, that's a tell. The contractor they were out of their element, but I could tell that from day one. I don't blame the contractor. CalOES made promise after promise after promise and never had any intention on following through. And I don't understand that. I don't understand why a state agency made promises that they had no intention of following through on. It doesn't make sense. So I just want to come, I guess, forward with Santa Cruz County is not alone. San Mateo County is going through the exact same thing right now. And I imagine wherever these operations are occurring. So I would suggest you reach out to those other communities, those other counties, because CalOES probably is not going to listen to one county, but they'll listen to everybody. So thank you again.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Valerie Brown with United Policyholders. I'm the chair of the Santa Cruz County Long-Term Recovery Group, and I'd like to just echo what Supervisor McPherson mentioned, and that the impact of not getting this resolved is going to put people in a situation where they cannot rebuild. If they can't get access to the site, they can't get a clearance. You're going to lose so much of your population that's impacted, and that is key to recognize that there needs to be some accommodation there, but also pushing on this level very hard, including CalRecycles and the Water Board, because that recycling program for the state is a complicated system with multiple players. Put them all on notice, because they owe you what they promised you, which is they were going to take care of this damage. And we're working on behalf of the hundreds of people who lost their homes, and they don't have the resources to do this. You are their hope to make this happen. Thank you.
The story is the same. We were made handshake and verbal agreements by both Anvil and CalOES that the road was going to be put back to some reasonable condition. It may not be perfect, but it was going to be better. That rock was going to be brought in, shape was going to be put back in the road. And the road was going to be returned to some serviceable condition. That work was never done. The CalOES folks took the path of least resistance, whatever they could say to get the work to move ahead, and then they washed their hands of the whole road system, and the residents of that road system have no means to put it back together. And you've heard that story many times this afternoon or this morning. So please continue to endeavor to get this resolved through CalOES, and we appreciate your efforts. Thank you.
Thank you for your efforts too. And I applied for a damage claim, and CalRecycle rejected it because they said I signed the right of entry. But not all of my neighbors lost their homes inside the right of entry. So Anvil damaged their road too. And I sent in 60 photos showing the damage. And the damage is now getting worse and worse now that we've had some more rains. And I'm thinking it won't be too long before emergency vehicles won't be able to get up there to those.
Well, I've come here today to ask you to help us in holding Anvil to account to address the things that they failed us on. First and foremost is the repaving of the first mile of our road. They could probably get away with half of it. They could have probably gotten away with very little, but they made no effort at all. And so we're here today wasting all of our time trying to find a resolution. Our community is probably, one of the more resilient communities in this county because of these failings of both government and public agencies over the years. And we're stronger for it. We will continue to be there, and we will continue to make our homes there. But we do request your help, and we are very grateful for the efforts that you have made since the CZU fire to help us return to our homes. Thank you.
The survivors. This is an issue that we see every day, and it's a common issue that we hear every day, and it needs to be addressed in order for people and the community to move forward and be able to rebuild their lives, because they are not rebuilding a home, they are rebuilding their lives back.
Last Chance Road.
So
I told him, he said he's going to make the road flat, and a flat road does not drain water. Because we were disagreeing on how the road should be done, Eric promised me 40 loads of rock to reshape the road when Anvil was finished. This was stated in front of Scott of CAL FIRE OES. So they came in, they scraped 35 years of rock off the road and took out all the culverts and a couple and the bleed outs. Throughout the cleanup process, they kept telling me rock was coming and they were going to replace the culverts. When the cleanup was done, Anvil packed up and left, and they left the front 1.5 miles of pavement completely crushed and ruined. Their contract stated they were supposed to leave the road as same or better condition. I've been working the road since they left, and I've never worked in such bad conditions. The spur roads to all the residents' houses were over a foot of dust. Once the rain came, I did what I could to get the water off the road. It was so bad when I was working Pine Mountain, the rain came, my work truck got stuck. So I abandoned it, walked home, came back a couple of days later, and there was a redwood branch come through the windshield.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Leslie Keedy, and I am the sole person that had a home on Upper Bloom Grade, which is the historic road that used to take people to Big Basin State Park. The county abandoned Bloom Grade, and the section of Bloom Grade that comes off of Little Basin, I've been maintaining personally as a single female for 15 years, and it cost me a lot of money to do that. The Anvil crews, I was encouraged to go the public direction when we went to the shelter to discuss that. So I went with that, and I did sign the right of entry form. And on that right of entry, of course, it stated that I would accept damage. I would have to commend Anvil for meeting with me and giving me personalized attention about crossing the road. And however, when they brought in the second piece of equipment, which was a huge excavator to demo my foundation, since they didn't have attachments for one machine, they had to bring in a second machine. When they brought in that second machine, they ruined a section that I had just spent about $20,000 overlaying, where there was a slide. So that was damaged. And then I submitted the claim when I saw that information from you folks about claiming for damage. That was very encouraging. But then, of course, I was denied that. So the county has abandoned.
Good morning, Chair McPherson, District Supervisors. My name is Olma O'Neill. I'm here to read a message on behalf of the White House Canyon Improvement Association President, Julia Rivera. I live in White House Canyon. When Anvil started the debris removal on our road, they graded the road flat and removed about 6 to 8 inches of material. That top 6 inches took about 30 years of work and rock to get to a place where we had a seal. The grading cracked that seal and removed hundreds of thousands of dollars of rock and work. Also, by bringing the road down 6 inches, the existing drainages were no longer functional. The portion of our road with this type of damage is primarily on state park property. After the debris removal, Anvil put about 2 inches of base on the road and called it good. The state park also signed off on the work and said they did a great job. Even CalOES said the road looked great. Putting 2 inches of base rock may have looked nice, but is not functional. The first couple of rains proved it and the base turned to mud. We were supposed to have our road returned to its original state. We are far from it. Our road is maintained by the landowners, even though it is a public road used by the state park, who has never contributed anything in the past 30 years. The first portion is state park and the last portion is CSA number 18. We as landowners do not have enough money to return the road to its original shape. It will take us decades with the budget we have. This message continues with the next speaker.
Thank you, sir. Ma'am.
Good morning, Chair McPherson and District Supervisors. My name is Rory O'Neill, and I'm also from White House Canyon Community. I'm here to continue reading a message on behalf of our Neighborhood Association President, Julia Rivera. Anvil rolled a 10-wheeler dump truck into White House Creek and removed about 2 to 3 feet of road when they removed the truck from the creek. The instigating factor that led to this accident was Anvil's original mistake of grading the road flat and down too far. When they did that in this section of road, they buried a culvert that drained a natural spring. I told workers for over a week about this and that the road was getting more and more sloppy each day and they needed to unplug the culvert. They never made a single attempt to mitigate the hazard they created and risk the lives of the truck drivers, the residents, and the public driving up the road. It was very lucky that the driver that landed upside down in the creek was not injured or killed. To mitigate this risk, they put down steel plates. Recently, they removed the steel plates and were not planning to fix the area until I mentioned that they were removing the only mitigation to the hazard they created, and they could not take the plates without fixing the road. Again, they put more base rock on this area and walked away. They offered us a settlement of $4,600 for them to walk away. This was not only insulting, but also inadequate. During this whole period, they had been telling us they were applying for permits to fix the road, which they had not done. Permitting alone to fix this section of road, I have been told, can be up to $40,000. They did not apply for permits until we refused the settlement. We were also told that we should take the settlement because all the other communities had done so, and we should not be difficult. Dealing with Anvil, CalOES, and Santa Cruz County during this process has put undue stress and financial burdens on the community members trying to rebuild. I urge you to hold Anvil accountable and also to hold CalOES accountable. Anvil is a for-profit company, so their greed is to be expected. CalOES did not take the time to oversee Anvil construction, and I would like them to be held accountable as well. Thank you, sir.
Sarah Polgar.
Hi, I want to thank the board and staff for taking this issue on, assessing and summarizing the issues and taking action. My name is Sarah Polgar. I'm with the San Mateo Resource Conservation District, and my colleagues and I have been working with and trying to advocate for landowners affected by the damage that Anvil did and that CalOES oversaw in San Mateo County. These are the Barranca Knolls communities, Old Woman's Creek, as well as White House Canyon. These are the roads that cross county lines. You've heard from these residents and the businesses about what happened, with Redwood Empire. Mike Duffy and David Van Lennep, Julia Rivera, and Christine Harper from White House Canyon. You've heard their stories, and so many of them lost their homes, and really all they had left was their roads, and now that's taken away from them too. And so this is just so important, and we strongly support, the San Mateo RCD strongly supports this Santa Cruz County effort to address the situation and hold the state accountable. And we look forward to coordinating with and helping in this effort. Thank you again.